Hey, shalom, Lord Christ. What's going on? Most High in Christ. Let's clap it up for the Most High in Christ. All right. We're the Isupk out of 1 West 125th Street out of Harlem, New York, under commanding General Yohana. We teach blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans the truth according to the Bible, history, archaeology, and anything else you may need for your understanding. Today is the Wednesday night law class, and we'll be getting into it. Specifically, we'll be continuing and finishing, well, not finishing, but almost there. Finishing up the book of First Maccabees. So, you know what I'm saying? I'm not going to play around with it. We're going to jump straight into it. If anybody has any questions or comments, feel free to put it in the chat. With that, let's rock out. So this is First Maccabees chapter 15, verse 1. Moreover, Antiochus, son of Demetrius the king, sent letters from the isles of the sea unto Simon the priest and prince of the Jews, and to all the people. The contents whereof were these: King Antiochus to Simon the high priest and prince of his nation, and to the people of the Jews greeting. So this is a king that has dominion, but now he's writing to our forefather, Simon, who was king of the Jews at this time. Now listen to this. It says, greeting. For as much as certain pestilent men have usurped the kingdom of our fathers, and my purpose is to challenge it again, that I may restore it to the old estate, and to that end have gathered a multitude of foreign soldiers together and prepared ships of war. So right here you had a heathen fighting for, you understand, the kingdom of his forefathers, because he understood that that's what mattered. What my forefathers established is what I'm going to live for, what I'm going to fight for. And I'm only going to establish it even more. My life is to establish what they already established, that much more. That's why pedigree and lineage matters. You understand? Because that's what our goal is. You understand? So many people, you understand, in our lifetime are so lost. So lost, don't know what to do, don't know their way. What should I be? This, that, and the third. It is because we lost setting our pedigree and the standard through our father. That's who we're supposed to set our pedigree and our standard through. But of course, in this society, first thing this society wants you to do is get rid of the daddy. You understand? This society wants you to get rid of the daddy, when that's who we are. We are who we are according to our fathers. Now that's biblical. Of course, today is a law class, so what am I going to do? I'm going to go to the law and I'm going to show you. I'm going to go to the law and I'm going to show you. And this is why America is so hard set on what? Go ahead, you don't need that, man. Remember, what was it in the 70s where they put in that law, like you can get help from the government as long as what? It was one thing you couldn't do. It didn't matter what you did. You just couldn't have one thing in your house. And guess who that was? That was that man. You couldn't get help from your own government if you had the father of your children in that house. That's what the government put in place. That's what a wicked society does. Because if you want good for that family, good for those children, and what's best for them, of course you want that man in the house. You would encourage that man being in the house. Matter of fact, we ain't gonna help you unless you put the man in your house. That's what a righteous society would do. But you gotta understand, there's nothing righteous about this place we call America. Not a thing. So of course, everything about America is to entice you to get rid of the man. Now let's go to the law and show how our pedigree is of our fathers. This is the book of Numbers, chapter 1, verse 18. I'll give y'all a second to get there. This is the book of Numbers, chapter 1. Going to go to verse 18. We'll start at verse 17. The Mexican Muslim. Well, if that ain't confusion, I don't know what is. The Mexican Muslim, that is as much confusion as you can see. Like, there's nothing more confusing than a Mexican Muslim. That's amazing. All right, anyway, Numbers 1 and 17. And Moses and Aaron took these men which are expressed by their names. So Moses and Aaron, two men, took these names which were expressed by their names. Now listen to this. And they assembled all the congregation together on the first day of the second month, and they declared their pedigrees after their family. Your pedigree is who you are, the standard of your life, everything. Who you are is your pedigree. What pedigree do they come from? They're asking, what's your lineage? You understand? So they declared their pedigrees after their families by the house of their fathers, according to the number of the names from 20 years old and upward, by their polls. Your pedigree is established by the house of your father. It can't get any more clear than that. Again, this is why in America, in the world in general, it's almost as if they want to get the father out the house, because who you are is declared by that man. If you don't know that man, guess what? You'll be whatever America wants you to be, because you don't know who you are. That goes for boys and girls. You wonder why we got such a wild generation coming up now, because most of them don't know their pedigree. Most of them don't know their pedigree. Most of them don't know their father. So they were ready and willing to be whatever America put on TV. Whatever, well, I guess it ain't TV no more. Whatever they put on social media. You understand? Whatever agenda they go with, that's what our young boys and girls are gonna go with. Why? Because we took the importance of the father out of the household. And then even when you get the father in the household, most of the times he's so broken, you understand, he doesn't understand how to lead. He doesn't understand how vital his role is. He up there goofing off, doing this, that, and the third. He can't even be the leadership that young boy or young girl needs. This is why it's so important that you have the ISUPK in your city, that you have men that's been built up in the Lord, that had to forsake themselves, that had to overcome their own demons, to say, okay, I'll sacrifice all that to be a leader of my people, to fight to be a leader of my people. This is what separates the ISUPK from everybody else that says they're Israelites. We had to defeat our demons before we got leadership. We didn't get to dwell with our demons. If we didn't defeat our demons, we don't get leadership. You understand? And that's to prepare us, that getting that leadership is to prepare us for rulership, because that's what Christ is going to bring in. You understand? To the leaders that are really about his work. Christ is going to bring rulership for those that took leadership. And that's what you have here today. So you got to understand, the father is more vital than anything to the household, not to undermine the mother, but even that mother is having his seed. The mother is having his seed. The man puts his seed in that woman, and she births his seed. As glorious as it is, that's still his seed. Why do I say that? Because that's the only, until we understand that, you won't, that seed can't understand who they are. It's almost like if there was a life of apples, and then you plant an apple seed in the earth, it grows up to be an apple, but it never sees apples. It only sees oranges. It's wondering, why is it the odd one out? So it's just going to do what everybody else is doing. Maybe I need to go do what oranges are doing, do what pears are doing. Well, that's what we got in today's society. You understand? People doing everything that doesn't belong to them. This is why we got so much, what can I say, LGBTQ community, drugs, broken homes. You understand? Hot girl summers, DL. This is why this is in our community so rampant, because the head has been cut off. That father, that man. And now we do whatever is in front of us. We do whatever feels good. You understand? So this is why we got to get back to understanding who we are as a people. It starts with understanding we are our father, meaning we are the seed of our father. That's our pedigree. That's, if I need to know anything about me, I need to know about that man, because I am his seed. Now let's get back to it. Of course, if anyone has any questions or comments, feel free to put it in the chat. We're going to rock out. What's that? All right. So First Maccabees chapter 15. And now we're going to go to where we at. Verse 4. So First Maccabees 15, verse 4. I'll let you get back there. For anyone that's following along, First Maccabees is in the Apocrypha. So anyone that is following, you got to be in your Apocrypha. Apocrypha are the books between the Old Testament and the New Testament. If you don't have an Apocrypha, you can look it up online. You can get the app, get the KJVA, which is King James Version Apocrypha. You get all that. You understand? So this is First Maccabees chapter 15, verse 4. My meaning also being to go through the country, that I may be avenged of them that have destroyed it, and made many cities in the kingdom desolate. Now therefore I confirm unto thee all the oblations which the kings before me granted thee, and whatsoever gifts beside they granted. Okay, we're good. I give thee leave also to coin money for thy country with thine own stamp. So this is a king saying to our forefather, Simon Maccabees, that he can coin money for his country with his own stamp. Now, to us, that doesn't sound like nothing, but this is what you got to understand. When you're in rulership, if there is a monetary value system, and there is going to be printed anything on it, it's going to be something that represents you, not something that represents your oppressors. Jefferson, who else? Jefferson, Lincoln. I don't even know who's all on the money here. But do you understand? All of them are oppressors. All of them represent our oppression. They don't represent us. See, here he was confirming that we could coin our own money. Why? Because guess what? We had rulership. We had our own land. We had our own government. We had our own military. We had our own people. We were a nation unto ourselves, Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. And that's what we have to fight to get back to, being a nation unto ourselves. That way, if we want money, guess what? It's going to look like us. We want to produce movies. Guess what? It's going to look like us, be about us. And we ain't got to have all that LGBTQ agenda and all the BS. It ain't got to have all that in there. We can do things that represent us and bring out the good in our generations. We don't have to have all that other stuff. But that comes with having our own country, land, being one together, being one as a people, brotherhood, sisterhood, our own government, military. This is what Christ is coming to bring back. You understand? Christ is coming to bring all that back. But we got to do our part first. We got to wake up. We got to give him a reason to come back. We got to give him a reason to say, you know what? They're worthy. Let me take them out of this place called hell. And he'll do it. But he ain't doing it for an African American. He ain't doing it for a Mexican. He ain't doing it for a Haitian. But he will do it for a Judite. He'll do it for a Benjamite, a Gadite, Manassite. He'll do it for them. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, he go hard for them. But as long as you thinking African American is the way to go, as long as you thinking Christianity is the way to go, as long as you thinking being a Mexican or Native American or whatever is the way to go, then guess what? You ain't got nothing to come back for. Because the Bible don't prophesy about saving none of them. It only prophesy about saving the 12 tribes of the children of Israel. So until you come back to your nationality and living according to your culture, your heritage, your God, your people, ain't nothing to talk about. Right where you need to be in this place called America, aka hell. Let's keep reading. Again, if anyone has any questions online, I'm looking at two different screens, so you got to work with me. But any questions online, feel free to ask. We on 1 Maccabees 15, verse 7. And as concerning Jerusalem and the sanctuary, let them be free, and all the armor that thou hast made and fortresses that thou hast built, and keepest in thy hands, let them remain unto thee. And if anything be or shall be owing to the king, let it be forgiven thee from this time forth forevermore. Do you understand what's going on right now? This is something we're not going to get in America, where you have kings begging for our mercy, begging for our help. You know why? Because we don't have rulership. We don't have power. I know you get a couple, start making six figures and you think you got some type of power. You understand? You go viral one time or two and now you think you got power. No, this is power. You understand? Where they got to come to us as a people, as a nation. Respect, look at black men and women in the eye and say, please, you can do whatever you want to do. This, that, and the third. Just give us protection. You understand? That's what the nation should be coming to us for. But you know why they don't have to? Because we don't go to our God for it. We don't go to our God for it. We go to social media. We go to religion. What else? We go to how much money we make, how much weight we lost, how good we look. You understand? How many likes? We find more pride in likes than we do in obedience to our God. We find more pride in somebody clicking a button that'll never meet us than we do in serving our God. And we wonder why we in hell. It ain't really that hard to find out. I promise you. Once you come into the truth, it's very simple to see why the Lord got us here in this place called America. Very simple. And I hate to admit it, but that's the reality. Like, we as a people are nowhere near close to the obedience that the Lord deserves from us. And he deserves it. He deserves it. He put his spirit in us. Even in disobedience, you still see it seeping through. What do I mean? Who's the best best athletes? Who's the best cooks? Best writers, best inventors? Who looks the best? Sings the best, dances the best? Who? Do you understand? A dance could start right now in the most ghettoest ghetto in America. And I guarantee you by this time next week or this time next month, it will be happening in Indonesia, in China, in India, England, all over. I've seen it happen. I've seen the Dougie been done across the seas. Yeah. I've seen all the dances that we start in the hood. I've seen them doing them in India, in China. They be juking in China. I hope y'all know that. They juking in China. That started somewhere in the hood in Memphis. They juking in China though. That's the spirit of the Lord, meaning we can do anything. We can take rags from riches. Like we get it from the gutter. It don't matter because we're just that much better than them. But we don't get any glory for it. Why? Because we don't serve the power that gave it to us. We do these things and expect America to honor us. Oh, look, they put me on TV. Oh, look, they made me go viral. Oh, look, they made me get a couple extra dollars than the people living next door to me. And we find glory in that. You know what the Bible says about that? Because it's like they give us a gift, and in that gift, we forget all about the reality of life. But the scriptures tell us about that. The scriptures tells us about that. What do I want? This is Ecclesiastes chapter 7, verse 7. I'll give you a second to get there. Ecclesiastes 7, verse 7. Book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 7, verse 7. It reads, surely oppression maketh a wise man mad. Let me read that again. Surely oppression maketh a wise man mad. See, if you have any wisdom according to the Lord, you're going to realize when oppression is happening to you. Like the fact that we don't have a kingdom, meaning we don't have our own land where blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans dwell amongst themselves as a people, the same way China does, India does, or Russia does. You understand? They got their own land, no matter how good, great, or whatever, it's theirs. They got their own government. They got their own monetary system. They got their own language. They got their own culture. We ain't got that. That's how I know we are being oppressed. That's a telltale sign of oppression. Never mind, hands up, don't shoot. The people we live under make laws to go against us. They find every way to cheat us out of everything, and we still have to rise again and everything. Come on, man. Every hood looks like us. Every suburb looks like them. Come on. If you don't know you've been oppressed over here, you just a dummy. I'm sorry. It's that simple. Even if you look, if you want clothes, you go buy their clothes. You want food, you go buy their food. You want a business, you go get the loans or you go get the documentation that they say you need. Everything goes through them. Nothing goes through us. That is oppression. Pure oppression. The scripture says, surely oppression maketh a wise man mad. And listen to this. And a gift destroyeth the heart. See, when we all struggling together, we notice the oppression and it's like, man, they coming down on us. It's sorry, brother, I got you, brother, I got you, sister. You understand? But then let them take one of us, just one of us, and say, you know what? We'll put you on TV. We'll put you on social media. We'll make you go viral. You know what? We'll actually pay you for it. You know what I'm saying? We'll fund it. We'll pay you this, that, and the third. And guess what? That gift is going to change that man or woman's whole tone. Where, yeah, they oppressing us. They doing this, that, and the third. And next thing you know, you having dreams like Martin Luther King. Where a black boy and a white boy or a white girl or whoever could walk hand in hand. Why the hell would I want to walk hand in hand with my oppressor? I want to walk hand in hand with my sisters, with my brothers. I don't want to walk hand in hand with the people that hate me. If they want to hate me, cool, go ahead. I don't care about that, but I surely don't want to walk hand in hand with you. But guess what? They gave Martin Luther King a voice. You understand? They gave him a little bit of clout, a little bit of money. And then, because of that, now he wants to join us to them. That's what happened. The gift destroyed the heart. It happens all the time. They'll say people sell their souls to be famous, this, that, and the third. Well, they offering them $100 million contracts. That gift destroyed their heart, meaning it destroyed their mind. When it says heart, it's talking about your mind, meaning before you had the $100 million contract, you knew you was oppressed. You knew life was a struggle. You knew everything was effed up around here. Then you got that $100 million contract. And he's like, you know what? You just gotta work harder. You just gotta try harder. You understand? They really like us. They really just trying to show us the way. We just not listening. That's why I can't deal with y'all no more. Next thing you know, you're on TV wearing dresses. You wearing dresses. You understand? You're doing everything that goes against who you are because now you are their puppet. And that gift destroyed your heart. Well, that's what wasn't possible with Simon. That's what's not possible with the men in Isupk. You can give us $100 million, but you ain't going to like what we do with it because we're going to build up our people. We're going to build up our community. You understand? That's what we're going to do. We ain't about to put on no dress for you. That's for damn sure. It's a lot. Reading on. So now we back at 1 Maccabees chapter 15. Reading on. We starting at verse 9. Of course, anybody got any questions or comments, put it in the chat. You know what I'm saying? We're rocking out. So 1 Maccabees chapter 15, verse 9. Furthermore, when we have obtained our kingdom, we will honor thee and thy nation and thy temple with great honor, so that your honor shall be known throughout the world. In the 114th year went Antiochus into the land of his fathers. Now, this is something I like to do. It says, in the 114th year went Antiochus into the land of his fathers. What year is that? Anybody online, just put it in the chat. It says 114th year. What year is that? Help me out. I'm going to give y'all a couple seconds to answer that. 114th year. What year is that? Can anybody help me out? 114th year. Just put it in the chat. Nothing wrong with being wrong. Or right. You might get it right. $1674. Okay. That's 103 score 14. Okay. I can see why you come up with that number. That's not a bad guess. We'll give it a couple more seconds, see if anybody else want to try. 103 score in 14th year. Y'all know I like these little pop quizzes. Got to keep your mind fresh. 1614. Okay, that all right. That's your second guess. Okay. 103 score 14 years. So, all right, let's answer. So, 103 score 14 years. So, understanding 3 score is probably what throwing the most of us off. 1 score is 20. So, if you got 1 score, you got 20. If you got 2 score, you got 40. If you got 3 score, you got 60. So, 160 in 14th years. That would be 174. The 174th year. That's what that is. The 174th year. That's how you break that down. So when it says in the 103 score and 14th year, that was in the 174th year went Antiochus into the land of his fathers, at which time all the forces came together unto him, so that few were left with Tryphon. So remember, this is the time right before Christ. Remember, I said this is the time period between the Old Testament and the New Testament. So remember, the New Testament, if we start with Christ's birthday, I think that's 4 AD, whenever he was born, or 3 AD, whatever it is. This is 174 AD. BC. I'm sorry, BC. So this is 174 BC. So this is that time frame between the Old Testament and the New Testament. Let's keep reading on. At which time all the forces came together unto him, so that few were left with Tryphon. Verse 11. Wherefore, being pursued by King Antiochus, he fled unto Dora, which lieth by the seaside. Dora was just a city by the seaside. That's all it's saying. For he saw that troubles came upon him all at once, and that his forces had forsaken him. Basically, what he seen was there was countries coming at his head all at once. And who he thought was his allies, they forsook him. As soon as it got tough, they said, no, we ain't doing that. You understand? 174, right. Yeah, BC, before Christ. 174 before Christ, right. So this is the time frame this is going on. So all his allies forsook him. When they forsook him, guess what? He understood. This is why he was coming to us and saying, yo, you can do whatever you want. Just listen. Just look out for us. But we're about to read something. You understand? We're about to read something and get a better understanding. All right. Verse 14. And when he had compassed the city round about and joined ships close to the town on the seaside, he vexed the city by land and by sea. Neither suffered he any to go out or in. So this is saying, when it says he vexed the city by land and by sea, that means the ships were destroying things. You understand? And on land, meaning they actually sent ground troops in and they were destroying everything. It was all hell. It was all hell breaking loose. You understand? Now this is what people don't understand. And I got to look this up again, but do you understand? I know it's over 50%, but I think closer to 60% of the Bible is in one way, shape, or form talking about warfare. In one way, shape, or form, the Bible is talking about warfare. Whether it's talking about the oppression, overcoming the oppression, how we were taken over, whatever it was, the Bible's talking about warfare. So if the Bible's talking about warfare, what does that tell you about the God of the Bible? And let's just get it from the Bible. I can't be making up stuff. I don't like making up stuff. Y'all gotta excuse me. But yeah, the majority of the Bible is talking about warfare. Listen to this. This is Exodus. We're going back to the law now, guys. Going back to the law. Exodus 15:3. The Lord is a man of war. The Lord is his name. When you translate that, it says Yahweh is his name in the Hebrew. Yahweh is his name. So it says Yahweh is a man of war. Yahweh is his name. And that's the Most High God. The Most High God says in his word, he's a man of war. And this is why I hearken so much on spiritual warfare. Because right now, we don't have our own land, country, military, government, all that. So we really can't do a physical warfare, but we can fight the spiritual warfare. What do I mean? What's the spiritual warfare? Well, the spiritual warfare is anything that's trying to get you to go against obeying your God. Because remember, the law is spiritual. So the spiritual warfare would be anything trying to get you to disobey the law. And if anybody wants me to get the verse where it talks about the law is spiritual, I'll get it. Just let me know. But since the law is spiritual, whatever gets us to go against obeying that, that's the spiritual warfare. So example, the law says do not eat pork, shrimp, crab, or lobster. It is an abomination unto us. So guess what? Anything trying to get us to eat pork, shrimp, crab, and lobster, that's the spiritual warfare. That's the battle. We got to fight that, meaning not a physical fight, but we got to resist. We got to resist the temptation to eat that seafood boil. We got to resist the temptation to think we eat, understand the high delicacies. We got to resist that temptation. I'll give another example. The law says we should have no gods or no idols before the Most High. So anything that tries to get us to serve an idol or a power that's not the Most High, we got to resist it. That's the spiritual warfare. Example, Christianity, Muslim, any religion, Christmas, Valentine's Day. Here's one nobody wants to hear. I know I said a couple, but here's one nobody wants to hear. Birthdays. Who's your God on your birthday? Who do you worship on your birthday? Who has people bring everybody, whether they know them or not, will bring them gifts on their birthday and worship them. Oh, it's your day. Happy birthday. You deserve it. Bless you another year. You are the God on your birthday. You. Now, between me and you, I ain't going to say nothing, but We know you ain't no God. So let's not worship you as well. Let's live in reality. Because we both know you ain't no God. Now, I ain't no God either, but I don't celebrate my birthday. I understand celebrating me would just be a waste of time. Yeah, I ain't even going to begin to think about celebrating me. But this is what we got to understand as a people. It's all idol worship. And on our birthdays, we make us the idols. So that's the spiritual warfare that we are fighting today. We win that battle, we get to get our kingdom back. As long as we keep losing that battle, we get to live in the kingdom of our oppressor. It's very simple. Let's keep reading. Let's go back to 1 Maccabees, chapter 15. All right. So 1 Maccabees, chapter 15. We're all one. Verse 12. For he saw the troubles came upon him all at once, and that his forces had forsaken him. Then camped Antiochus against Dora, having with him 120,000 men of war and 8,000 horsemen. And when he had compassed the city round about and joined ships close to the town of the seaside, he vexed the city by land and by sea, neither suffered he any to go out or in. In the mean season came Numenius and his company from Rome, having letters to the kings and countries wherein were written these things. So now Rome is entering the equation. Remember, this is war. So now you got another kingdom in there. Rome is entering the equation. Verse 16, Lucius, council of the Romans, unto King Ptolemy, greeting. The Jews' ambassadors, our friends and confederates, came unto us to renew the old friendship and league, being sent from Simon the high priest and from the people of the Jews. They brought a shield of gold of 1,000 pounds. We thought it good, therefore, to write unto the kings and countries that they should do them no harm, nor fight against them, their cities or countries, nor yet aid their enemies against them. It seemed also good to us to receive the shield of them. If therefore there be any pestilent fellows that have fled from their country unto you, deliver them unto Simon the high priest, that he may punish them according to their own law. You see that? This now, and this is a wicked ruler, but even he understood the punishment that we gave out for wickedness was a little bit different. The punishments that we gave out according to the laws of God, he said, somehow, some way, they give out that punishment and people understand exactly what it is. This is really like, if you want to understand why you need mercy and grace, that's what you need mercy and grace from. The mercy and grace is you don't get the punishments according to the law. That's the mercy and grace, because we all of us deserve the punishments according to the law. And just to sum it up for you, all of us would be unalive. All of us would be unalive right now. None of us would be here if we got the punishments according to the law. And we would be unalive, a horrible unalive. Like it would send a message to everyone that's still alive. Don't do what they did, or you will get this too. That's the standard that we used to live on. This is why the Lord wants us to live according to the spirit now, meaning live by the spirit of the law. Not that you don't have to keep the law, but the spirit of the law was to make sure that you never disobeyed the law. So now just obey it. Obey the law in spirit. That's why the scriptures say for the law is spiritual. Just obey the law in spirit, and guess what? Now I don't have to unalive you, your family, and everybody else. Guess what? Everybody can live. We can have brotherhood and sisterhood. By the way, sidebar, the Lord's Passover is next week. Speaking of brotherhood and sisterhood, it is going to be a glorious, glorious event. If you're a Black, Hispanic, or Native American, then the sound of my voice, you need to be at the Lord's Passover. For one, it is a law. So Just in obedience, you should be there. But outside of that, I mean, it's the greatest time you're going to have in this wicked kingdom. To be able to keep the Lord's Passover. I think I've been to about 7 or 8 of them, and I'm telling you right now, the Lord's Passover is the greatest experience any Black, Hispanic, or Native American can have. You understand? You'll go to a club or a party, and you up there looking over every shoulder left and right. You go to the Lord's Passover. Not only are you going to have the time of your life, but you're not worried about a thing, because everybody here is in obedience to the laws of God. And brotherhood and sisterhood is at its peak at the Lord's Passover. It's at its peak. You understand? You're going to feel like you won with everybody there, and you're not going to know most people there. You're going to feel safe with everybody there, and you're not going to know nobody there. That's the Lord's Passover. Because when you keep the law, you keep it spiritual, that's what can happen amongst Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. You understand? Obedience to the Lord is more than just, oh, I got to do this, that, and third. Obedience to the Lord open up so many different avenues you can't even understand. Guess what? Until you are obedient, until you actually experience obeying the Lord. And that's what this thing is about. That was just a quick sidebar. Go ahead and get to the Lord's Passover. It's in Houston, April 3rd, April 4th. Anyway, back to Maccabees. So, like we were saying, punishment according to the laws of God was just different. You understand? We didn't pull no punches. Disobeying the Lord, you understand, was something that you just don't do. And they understood. When we holding the standard of the Lord, they understood this. The safest place on earth, Houston, Texas, April 4th. Damn right. The safest place on earth. And guess what? It's going to be the littest place on earth too. Don't be fooled. Safe don't mean it ain't lit. Oh, it's going to be lit. This is going to be the safest place on earth, and it's going to be the most lit place on earth. And guess what? We're not going to be passing diseases like they was just doing a week or two ago. We're not doing that. We're not passing diseases around. Remember, this is the safest place on earth. We're not doing none of that. You understand? Houston, you understand, they dropped the ball a week or two ago. But now the priests of the Lord are coming in. The priests of the Lord are coming into Houston. We invading Houston, and we're going to show you how to have a glorious time. And nobody has to leave with AIDS, herpes, and whatever else y'all was giving out. Good Lord, Houston. I love Houston. I've been a time or two. I love Houston, but that's just sad. You don't know how to have a good time without getting diseases. What's wrong with you? Don't worry. The priest will come show you how, Houston. We're on our way. Give us a week. We'll show you how to have a glorious time, a better time than they had, and still keep it safe. Most High in Christ. Let's keep it rolling. Salaki. All right, so verse 19. We thought it good, therefore, to write unto the kings and countries that they should do them no harm, nor fight against them, their cities or countries, nor yet aid their enemies against them. It seemed also good to us to receive the shield of them. If therefore there be any pestilent fellows, Salaki, pestilent fellows that have fled from their country unto you, deliver them unto Simon the high priest, that he may punish them according to their own law. 22. The same things wrote he likewise unto Demetrius the king, Attalus, Areathus, and Xerxes. 23. And all into all the countries, to Sampsimus, the Lacedaemon, the Lord. These countries remember, these are Greek countries. Y'all gotta excuse me. Reading Greek countries here. All right. Lacedaemonians, into Delos, Mendes, Sicyon, Caria, Samos, Pamphylia, Lycia, Hyrcanus, Rhodus, Ardus, Colossae, Ardus, Gartinia, Nidus, Cyprus, and Cyrene. Woo! That was tough. I ain't gonna lie, that was tough. And the copy hereof they wrote to Simon the high priest. So basically all that, you understand, was written. All those countries knew what the law was given or the decree given for Simon, meaning if anybody's disobeying, all these countries knew, hey, send them over to Simon the high priest. He'll take care of them. Yeah, it's like that over there. Yeah, you can't get away with nothing over there, and they're going to do it according to their law. So guess what? That really gave people all right to just send them to us, because our laws is a little bit more stricter than, let's say, like an American law or Greek law or Roman law. You understand? They might be okay with you, dealing with the younger generation. I trying to keep it PG-13 for social media. But in our law, you can't do that. Off with the head. You understand? They might be okay with you eating pork, shrimp, crab, and lobster. But guess what? If they feel like you did them wrong or you did something against one of their higher ups, they say, "Oh, are you eating pork? Are you eating that shrimp over there?" Send them to Simon the high priest, because they know what we're going to do. It's an abomination. Off with it. You know what I'm saying? Off with the head. So really, they were setting people up. And I'm going to tell you right now, understanding the spirit of this, we wasn't doing nothing but enjoying our time. Oh, you got another one for us? Okay. Oh, what? He ate some pork? No. Don't worry. We'll handle it. They celebrated their birthday. Really? Huh. Okay. Bring them to me. What? They're worshiping idols? Okay, go ahead. I got you. No sweat. No. You found that man with another man. No sweat. Bring them to me. Now, it's very, the thing about it is, though, all these countries partook in this. You understand? So the hypocrisy was real, so to speak, because all these countries partook in it. But again, if you offended them, that's essentially what they could do. And I'm going to tell you right now, according to our law, it's going to be off with you. You know what I'm saying? We're done with you. All right, where we at? Let's skip down to, for time's sake, just go to 27. Nevertheless, he would not receive them, but break all the covenants which are, no, you know what? I forgot. We do need to read this part. 25. So Antiochus the king camped against Dora the second day, assaulting it continually, making engines, by which means he shut up Tryphon, that he could neither go out nor in. When it says making engines, it's talking about making instruments of war. An engine today would be like a gun, a machine gun, a bomb. These are engines of war. That's what it's talking about. I'm not saying that's what they made, but they made engines of war. Okay, 26. At that time, Simon sent 2,000 chosen men to aid him, silver also and gold and much armor. So guess what? Simon was keeping up his end of the bargain. He sent the men. Because remember, everybody had forsaken him, right? Everybody forsook him. But Simon said, you know what? I made a truce to you. I'm a man of my word. I'm going to go ahead and send you 2,000 chosen men. When they say chosen men, meaning these some of the most dangerous we got. If anybody going to get the job done, it's going to be the right here. He sent them. Also silver, gold, almost like not only am I going to send you men, I'm going to help fund the war. I'm going to help fund the war. I'm going to show you I'm truly down and I'm truly a man of my word. So that's what Simon do. It say he sent 2,000 chosen men to aid him, silver also and gold and much armor. 27. Nevertheless, he would not receive them, but break all the covenants which he had made with him afore, and became strange unto him. See, when it says he became strange unto him, and I love that precept, because this also gives you an understanding on what a stranger is. Meaning, a stranger is somebody that you had a covenant with, but now they break this covenant. Now you become strange to me. Like in today's term, you would say, oh, you acting fake. I know back in the day, they would say, oh, you two-faced. You understand? He was two-faced. He was acting fake. He broke the covenant, meaning we had this agreement. You remember earlier on, he was just saying, hey, look, you can do this, you can do that. I don't care, man. Just make sure you look out for us. Simon say, all right, I'm going to send you 2,000 chosen men. I'm going to make sure you got the gold and the silver. We're going to support, fund the war, help fund the war. I'm going to do my part. He do his part. And just like any heathen, he forsook him. He turned his back. He broke the covenant. And you know what's heavy about this? The Lord told us, never trust thine enemy. Never. We're going to get it in the Bible. We're going to get it in the Bible. It's the book of Ecclesiasticus. Ecclesiasticus chapter 12, verse 10. It says, never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. You understand? So you got to understand, when it says, so for like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness, meaning this. Iron might not rust off the bat. It might last for a day, a week, a year. Hey, it could last for 20 years. It could last for 50 years. But one thing we know, that iron will eventually rust. And that's what the Lord is saying about your enemies, meaning these other nations. You cannot make league with them. You cannot make covenants with them because their wickedness will show one way or another. It might not be up front. It might not be immediate. It might get to a point to where you swear by them more than you swear by your own people. But eventually, their wickedness will show because that's who they are according to us. Meaning they don't like us. That's just natural. That's who they are. It's natural for them. And that's what, unfortunately, our forefather Simon had to find out the hard way. Sent some of his best men, sent gold, silver, support his war. Well, remember, the war ain't got nothing to do with, so Simon could just stay out of it and be cool. He good. They coming after you, not me. But because I gave you my word as a man, I'm going to stay true as a soldier. And that's what Simon did. And it backfired because he didn't do that for his people. Well, he did it for his people. Don't get me wrong. But in this situation, it wasn't for his people. It was for another nation. It was for the heathens, another nationality. And in doing that, that's where he went wrong. It's no different than with Solomon. Solomon had what? I think about 600 or 700 wives. He was okay then. It wasn't until he got the other 200 or 300 that were women of other nations that he went off. Because you can't make covenants with other nations. You can't rely on the other nations. You got to rely on us. That's what this thing is about. And that's what the Lord is showing him right here. You can't rely on no other nation. I don't care how cool it is, how much they promise this, how smooth they talk. That don't mean nothing. War is always in their heart. You got something they want, and they going to get it. That's why we got to have trust in each other. That's why we got to come back together. We can't trust this nation. America don't love us. How much more could they do? Like, I ask people this all the time. What more could America do to show Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans they do not love us? Can anybody tell me in the chat what more America could do to show that they do not love us? Help me out. Can anybody help me out? I want to know, is there anything else America could do to show us, or what more can they do that they haven't done to show us that they don't love us? Like anything you think of that they could do, you'll be like, well, they already did that. They still do that. They already did that. Like, that's how bad it is. Like, we can't even fathom what worse they could do to us because they already done did it. And yet still we trying to have faith in this place. But I give y'all a second. Maybe y'all know something I don't know. What more could America do to show Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans they ain't got no love for us? Yep, that's what I thought. Not a dang old thing. Moving on. Deportation. What do you mean by deportation? Because last time I checked, there was a transatlantic slave trade where they was importing and deporting us at their very leisure for hundreds of years. They were importing and deporting us at their leisure for hundreds of years. That thing happened all across the transatlantic. So they already did that. They were doing it. And then if you look at the Mexicans, obviously they doing that now to the Mexicans and the Haitians right now. So I'm sorry, but that's been going on and it's still going on today. That's a good guess, though. I like the guess. It's Good guess. Yeah, they was doing, that's the transatlantic slave trade was nothing but importing and deporting, and they're still doing it today to Hispanics, Haitians, and whomever else. Hispanics and Latinos, your people, yes. Native Hispanics, Latinos, Native Indians are my people, definitely. Denying our city. What do you mean denying our city? You gotta help me out with that one. What do you mean denying our city? Citizenship. Denying our citizenship. Okay. Okay, yes and no. For one, they've already did that because again, while we were slaves, we didn't have any type of citizenship. We were just actual product. We were a thing. The whole time of 250 whatever plus years of slavery, we were a thing. So they already technically did that. On top of that, once we actually did get citizenship, you can look it up in their constitution. We were 2/5 or 3/5 of a human. That's what the citizenship amounts to them. They said, all right, we'll call you 3/5 of a human. You're 3/5. You count as 3/5. Your citizenship counts as 3/5 of a human. You understand? So even that, they already screwed that up too. American Indians are different from Latinos and Hispanics. I agree. There are 12 tribes of the children of Israel. 12 tribes. 12. So you understand? Yes, they are different, but they are of the same, let's say, nationality, meaning they're all Israelites. But Haitians are different from Jamaicans, but they're both Israelites. Gadites or Native Americans are different from Latinos, but they're both Israelites. Latinos are different from Cubans, Dominicans, but they're all Israelites. No, so the Spaniards come from, you understand, the Spaniards and conquistadors, they come from Spain and Italy. I agree. But you understand the Latinos, as far as the Latinos, the indigenous, the Taino Indians, those, they were here all before them. They were here before them. Those are my brothers. Those are my sisters. That's what we're talking about. Aztec, Mayans, yeah, all those were here before any pale face got here. All right, let's bang this thing out. Verse 28. Furthermore, he sent unto him Atheniobus, one of his friends, to commune with him and say, ye withhold Joppa and Gazaria with the tower that is in Jerusalem, which are cities of my realm. The borders thereof ye have wasted and done great hurt in the land, and got dominion of many places within my kingdom. Now therefore deliver the cities which ye have taken, and the tributes of the places whereof ye have gotten dominion without the borders of Judah or Judea. So now I will give a quick history lesson because this takes us back a couple chapters. You understand? When you go to 1 Maccabees chapter 13, this is what he's talking about. Where it says, First Maccabees chapter 13, we'll start at 50. Then cried they to Simon, beseeching him to be at one with them, which thing he granted them. And when he had put them out from thence, he cleansed the tower from pollutions. Enter into the 23rd day of the second month in the 171st year, with thanksgiving and branches, palm trees, and harps, cymbals, viols, hymns, and songs, because there was destroyed a great enemy out of Israel. He ordained also that that day should be kept every year with gladness. Moreover, the hill of the temple that was by the tower he made stronger than it was, and there he dwelt himself with his company. And when Simon saw that John his son was a valiant man, he made him captain of all the hosts, and he dwelt at Gazaria. So now that's Gazaria where he did all that at, right? That we just read. So now when you get back to First Maccabees chapter 15, and he says, where I'm going to go. Verse 28, furthermore, he sent unto him Athenius, one of his friends, to commune with him and say, ye withhold Joppa and Gazaria. That's what he's talking about, meaning you've taken that over. But what he's failing to realize is, hey, shalom, sis, what's going on? What he's failing to realize is that was already our land. Someone had already taken it from us, and we were just taking it back because it was the land of our forefathers, which Simon is about to get into. You understand? So verse 31, or else give me for them 5,000 talents of silver, and for the harm that ye have done in the tributes of the cities, other 500 talents. If not, we will come and fight against you. So now remember, these are the people he made a covenant with. Now they're saying we're going to come fight against you, right? So Athenius, the king's friend, came to Jerusalem, and when he saw the glory of Simon and the cupboard of gold and silver plate and his great attendance, he was astonished. He told him the king's message. So basically, he's seen Simon and how much. Imagine a brother. If you want to understand what Simon going like, what he talks about the glory. This is the glory of God, because remember, when you read the law, God gave us the purest gold, the purest of all things. So now this brother is sitting on his throne, and hey, he decked out, looking good, smelling good, look like something you just don't mess with. You understand? And it made this heathen feel some kind of way. It's just like when, put it like this, you want to understand it. Imagine a white man that knows he's inferior seeing a black man that he knows he's inferior to. You can see it in his face. He's looking at him like, oh gosh. That's what was going on here. That's what was going on here. This white man knew he was inferior to this brother. That's all. Same spirit we got today. Read on. Verse 33, then answered Simon and said unto him, we have neither taken other men's land nor holden that which appertaineth to others. Meaning we didn't steal anything that belonged to someone else. We didn't take anything that belonged to someone else, because that's not who we are. Well, that's not our spirit. You understand? We have a moral code that we uphold. That's the code of the Lord. Remember, you got to remember it. And this is why the law is so special, because when you go to the law, remember, this is what the Lord said. Hold on one second. Let me get this real quick. Let me get this real quick. Is that what I want to know? That's not what I want. Deuteronomy 32 and 8. I don't know why I didn't remember that. Deuteronomy 32 and 8. Most High in Christ. Hey, Shalom. Yahweh Shema Bashim Yahshua. What's going on, sis? What's going on? Deuteronomy 32 and 8. Let's get it. This is what Simon understood. This is what he remembered. Hey, Shalom. What's going on? Do I think the Messiah will return to Dayton, Ohio? Do you mean physically or spiritually? If you mean spiritually, he's already here. If you mean spiritually, he's already here. He's waiting on you. He's already here. He's waiting on you. If you mean physically, this place is going to be destroyed. So there's no reason to physically come here unless he just wants to destroy it. Dayton, Ohio, along with all the rest of America, will be destroyed. That's prophecy. But spiritually, he's already here. Did you know that the Bible began somewhere in the Middle East rather than Rome and Spain? Really? I guess you didn't hear the part of class where I said this is the part of the Bible that's between the Old Testament and the New Testament. Duh. Okay, I understand. You want to be smart. I know, G, you want to be smart, and I get it. I hate to crush your dreams. You're not. No one is smart without the wisdom of God. Get the wisdom of God, and you wouldn't sound so simple. I'm sorry. Does God support my weekend activities with white men? What do I do with white men? Fill me in. Help me out. I would love to know what I do with white men on weekends. Yeah. I mean, right. Yeah, but hey, Gentiles make this thing fun. Now, what can I say? Because there's a destruction coming to them that's going to happen whether they like it or not. That's the glorious thing about the truth. Your kingdom is coming down, and there's nothing you can do about it. Most High in Christ. Does God support your side? Hey, yo, we don't do none of that. We don't do none of that. So look, that's your last comment on sodomy. You make any more of those, I'll just make sure you cannot be a part of this live. One thing we don't play about is any of that. But I will give you this. That is a white man's sport. Sodomy is a white man's sport. It's just unfortunately our people look up to the white man. No sweat. There you go. Yeah, okay, no sweat. I got you. Let me make sure we go ahead and get them situated. Block. There we go. Confirm. There we go. Yeah, no sweat. No sweat. I got you. Now he will not be a part of the live no more. That was nice and simple. Yeah, we don't play that around here. But just to let you know, yeah, sodomy is against the Lord. It's an absolute no-no. I don't even know why we got to have this discussion. Ain't no God. Look at me. Just, I'm sorry. This is me boasting in the Lord because the Lord made me like, does it look like? With all the beautiful, never mind. You know what? Let me stop. Because now I'm about to get caught. I don't want to get caught. All right. Anyway, moving on. That's what we're doing. We're moving on. I'm gonna finish this. Let's read Deuteronomy 32:8 because remember, this is what Simon understood about the law, right? When he was talking about, I didn't take anything that did not belong to us. We only took what was ours. Deuteronomy 32:8. When the Most High divided to the nations their inheritance means their allotted land, their countries, right, of the earth. When he separated the sons of Adam, listen to this. He set the bounds of the people according to the number of the children of Israel, meaning the children of Israel got their allotted land first, and then he let everybody else get whatever belonged to them after that. So with Simon understanding this and understanding what land was theirs from the jump and what wasn't, he was just saying, yo, hey, we only took back what was ours. We weren't taking anything that wasn't ours. So now let's keep reading now that we had that understanding. So we'll start at 33 again. Then answered Simon and said unto him, we have neither taken other men's land, nor holden that which appertaineth to others, but the inheritance of our fathers, which is what we just read, right? We just read the inheritance in Deuteronomy 32:8 in the law. But the inheritance of our fathers, which our enemies, listen to this, had wrongfully in possession a certain time. Wherefore we, having opportunity, hold the inheritance of our fathers, meaning we had the opportunity to take it back. We took it back. Simple. It's ours. Don't care who had it. Care who had it at the time. It doesn't matter if somebody took it from us and then lost it to another people. Now that we got the opportunity, other people, we coming to take that back. You understand? No, my brother, we are Nubian, indigenous, foundational, black American. Boy, y'all come up with new stuff all the time. Now we indigenous, Nubian, indigenous, foundational, black American. Good Lord. Stop listening to Dr. Umar and Tariq, whatever his name is. Stop. They're foolish. They're foolish. Stop listening to them. I'm giving answers that's going to fix our community. They just sound good, so you listen to them. But nothing is happening. Nothing productive is coming from it. This is productive. This is bringing Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans back together. This is bringing our culture back. America's not going to hate you for being a foundation, indigenous, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But they will hate you for being an Israelite and living according to the standard of God. Why? Because that's where you get your power from. You don't get your power from being a foundational, indigenous, indigenous, originist, blackity black. You don't get no power from that. It just look cute and sound good. But this is the real deal. This fixes us. And that's what I care about, fixing us. You can keep the indigenous to foundational blackity black. I don't care about that. That's just a new way to say you a blackity black. That's all. You ain't saying nothing. Back to reality is Israel and Africa. Let me ask you this. Why does it matter? Why does it matter? So, reading on. 35. And whereas thou demandest Joppa and Gezerah, albeit they did great harm unto the people in our country, yet will we give thee 100 talents for them. Hereunto Antinous answered him not a word, but returned in a rage to the king, and made report unto him of these speeches, and of the glory of Simon, and of all that he had seen, whereupon the king was exceeding wroth, meaning the king was salty. When he heard about Simon and how glorious he was doing, he was salty. You got to remember, the king is going to war, got nations coming at him from every side, all this, that, and the third. And he up there, he wroth, he salty, because he know, like, God dang, man, must be nice to be over there. They doing good. And they got the land that he think is his. Yeah, he saw it. In the meantime, fled Tryphon by ship unto Orthosius. Then the king made Syndebius captain of the seacoast, and gave him a host of footmen and horsemen, and commanded him to remove his host toward Judea. Also, he commanded him to build up Cedron, and to fortify the gates, and to war against thy people, against the people. But as for the king himself, he pursued Tryphon, and Syndebius came to Jamnia, and began to provoke the people and to invade Judea, and to take the people prisoners and slay them. Now, this is the thing. He was just crying about not getting or having his land, right? He was just crying about not having his land. But he don't even go invade that part. He go invade Judea. That shows you how wicked these kings were. How wicked these heathen nations are. You can't put your trust in a heathen nation. Today, that heathen nation would be America for most of us. You cannot put your trust in America. You got to put your trust in the brotherhood and the sisterhood of the Lord. Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans trust in Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans that live and serve the Lord. Because that's the nation of Israel. That's the righteous nation. You understand? And there's only one righteous nation. That is the children of God. Now, of course, if you don't believe me, you know I'll get the precept. But I'm trying to close the class out. But if you need me to get the precept, I'll show you how there's only one righteous nation. And that's the nation of Israel. No other people have a right to even call themselves righteous, because they don't have the laws of righteousness. Moving on. '41, or yeah, we'll go from 40. Syndebius came to Jamnia and began to provoke the people and to invade Judea, and to take the people prisoners and slay them. And when he had built up Cedron, he set horsemen there and an host of footmen, to the end that issuing out they might make outroads upon the ways of Judea, as the king had commanded them. Meaning, they're making outroads, meaning they're making ways in multiple ways. Those outroads are to make ways to get into Judea. You understand? It will make ways or paths to say, okay, we can come from this angle, we can come from this angle, we can come from that angle, we'll go from this angle. That's what that was. Again, it's all about warfare, man. It was all about warfare. And guess what? We were about that warfare. I pray you understand. So now that's the end of that chapter. I'll open it up for anybody who got any questions. If not, we'll close out the class. I'll give you a couple seconds, a couple minutes, whatever. Got any questions? It could be on this. It could be on anything. If it's about life, the Bible, whatever, feel free to post your question in the chat. We'll get to it. Got a couple extra minutes. But like I said, hey, again, the Passover, make sure you're there. Again, Houston, Texas, April 4th. It's going down. Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. This is the greatest event of the year. I don't care what you're doing. Stop doing it and come do this. This is where you need to be at. If you don't believe me, don't worry. I'm going to make sure you know this was it. This is the event of the year. You understand? The Passover is like the Oscars. Like, that's even biblical. You understand? It's the first feast day that we have of the year outside of keeping Sabbaths and things of that sort. First feast day of the year. So it's definitely something you want to be a part of. It's always good to see a different atmosphere because Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans have never been in an atmosphere where you got thousands upon thousands of your people and all of them are trustworthy. Last year at the Passover, I left my wallet on the table for about 2.5, 3 hours. And not only was everything in it, I wasn't even worried about it until I seen it on the table. I was like, oh, shoot, I left it on the table. I didn't realize I didn't even have it. But, of course, everything I had was in it because, again, living in righteousness is a glorious thing. Like, when you're able to actually accomplish living in righteousness, it's something you never not want to be a part of. You always want it. This is why we love our brotherhood so much. Just getting together with our brothers. Sisterhood. Just sisters getting together. Because living in righteousness is something that you just can't get here in America. You understand? And that's what we want all Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans to be a part of. Like, if you just partake in it, I guarantee you would never want to leave. So that's what we're doing here. You understand? The Passover next week. Make sure you're there. If not, watch the class. Make way for the next year. Make way for the next feast day. Get into an ISUPK class near you. It's going down. We know we in the end times. It's about to get real. It's time to get to it, baby. It's time to get to it. We in the end times. I don't know what you're waiting on. If you think you believe in God in any way, shape, or form, you should be getting in class. You should be getting in class. At the very least, prove us wrong. Prove it. Like this is how you understand who the men of the truth is. I beg you to prove me wrong. Go ahead. I beg you to prove me wrong. Any question, any doubt, bring it. Let's go. We're about that. Because the Bible says, prove all things. Hold fast to that which is good. You understand? So yeah, come on. You got to be about this life, man. That's what it is. We love this thing, baby. Let me see if we got any questions on YouTube. What's this? Okay. Facebook. We good. Got the live. Okay. TikTok. Much love. Much love. Hey, I appreciate y'all. I appreciate the love, man. Hey, share that love. Why? Because we want to push this truth to the four corners of the earth. That's the one good thing about social media. It is that much easier to push this truth to the four corners of the earth. And that's what we want to do. We want to push this truth to the four corners of the earth. We want all our people to have the opportunity to come in and serve the Lord, man. It's time to gather together. It's time to be one, man. I'm going to give a couple more seconds for questions. If not, then we're going to rock out. Osai in Christ. The first religions were Hindu and Buddha. You said that like I care. I don't care what the first religion is. I don't care what the last religion was. All religion is against the Most High God. Let me help you out. All religion is against the Most High God. Very simple. All of it. Red Jack says, how do y'all determine the Passover is on April 4th? So it goes by the lunar calendar. We actually got generals that actually do the actual uh, dating. So they do the dating. And once they get everything situated, every year we come out with a yearly calendar for all the feast days. And that's how we understand the times, essentially. So, yeah, they actually do the dating for us. Most High Christ, shout out to all the generals. Y'all see another question? What is an Israelite? An Israelite today is a black, Hispanic, or Native American scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. That's what an Israelite is today. An Israelite biblically are literally the chosen children of God. They are the bloodline descendants of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And those brothers and sisters are the ones that are above every other people on the earth, according to God. So, yes, they are the chosen children of God. World War III is here and our folks is nowhere concerned. Well, that's biblical, though, right? You understand? That's what it says. Let's get it. I mean, that's biblical. You understand? Matter of fact, let me see if I can find this real quick. Yeah, that's biblical. Yeah, Matthew 24. Let's start at 36. Matthew 24 and 36. And it reads, but of that day and hour knoweth no man. Speaking of the times we're in now, right? No, not the angels of heaven, but my Father only. That's what Christ says. This is also how we know Christ and the Most High are not the same, because Christ don't know the time he's coming back, but the Most High does, right? 37. But as the days of Noah were, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. So what was going on in the days of Noah? Let's see. For as in the days that were before the flood, they were eating, drinking, marrying, giving in marriage until the day that Noah entered into the ark. Meaning they was eating, chilling, having a good time, marrying. And see, that's why people don't understand. Sex is marriage biblically. So what he basically saying in today's terms, he's saying, oh, they was feasting, partying, effing, just enjoying life and like they ain't got nothing to worry about. That's what he was saying in today's terms. I'm trying to make it relevant for you today. So you're right, they don't care, but guess what? That's what it is. That's what the Bible said. This is how. That's also another sign of how we know we're in the end days. People so pressed on who got the fattest butt, or do my butt ain't fat enough, so let me get a BBL. Being half naked on the internet. Who can be the freakiest? Who hit the most females? People more worried about that than worrying about the coming of the Messiah. It's just like the days of Noah. People are just disgusting and defiled as they were in the days of Noah. Same thing. This is also why in the days of Noah, he destroyed everyone but Noah and his lineage. Or Noah and his pedigree, which goes back to what we was talking about earlier. The children that came from him. Because they were him. So that's biblical. You're right. That's a sign of the times. When you say World War III is right here upon us and ain't nobody worried about it, that's because it's just like the days of Noah. Just like the days of Noah. You understand? But yeah, I'm with you. You said Abraham was from Ur Chaldees, not Israel. According to the Bible, he was Chaldean, not Israelite. Okay, I would agree, but I'm not understanding your point. Because is he a forefather of the Israelites? That would be my question, Michael. Is he a forefather of the Israelites? What happened to your beard, bro? I don't know. What happened to it? You said, brother, this is wrong. May I talk to you? Well, just tell me what's wrong. You can just tell me what's wrong, and then we can go from there. Just tell me what's wrong. We can go from there. Again, we don't mind discrepancies. Feel free. But you gotta produce your cause. Like the scripture says, produce your cause. Give me book, chapter, verse of what I'm wrong on. Facts. Yeah, I'm right. Yeah, but just so everybody understand, Abraham couldn't be an Israelite because he birthed the Israelites. The Israelites came from his seed. You understand? This is what it meant when it says being a father of many nations. You understand? There's 12 tribes. So he can't be an Israelite because the Israelites come from his lineage. Do you know what a modern Chaldean looks like? I'm going to be honest, I don't, and it doesn't really matter what a modern Chaldean looks like, just like it doesn't matter what a modern Egyptian looks like, because they don't look like the ancient ones. And that's a fact. So I don't care what a modern Chaldean looks like, just like I don't care what a modern Egyptian looks like, just like I don't care what a modern Israeli looks like, because they don't look like the Israelites.
Brother, put the middle finger up.
All right, I'll be there in a minute. Both sides and cry. Let me make sure we're good. Let me see. All right, I guess he can't produce his cause. All right, well, hey, both sides in Christ. Listen, like I said, anybody got any discrepancies with what's going on with us, hey, feel free, but you're going to have to produce your cause. You can't just say, hey, brother, you off. Hey, brother, you wrong. No, you're going to have to actually show and prove what it is you're talking about. You understand? Because we show and prove everything we're talking about. All the other nations are nothing to God except the blacks, Latinos, and natives. Absolute facts. That's biblical. Is there anybody on the live right now that doesn't believe that all other nations are nothing to God? Is there anybody on the live that doesn't believe it or doesn't understand it? If so, just put a 1 in the chat. Just put a 1 in the chat. I promise. So I'll go to the Bible and I'll get you 2 witnesses. I'll do that. I'll get you 2 witnesses. Put a 1 in the chat. When is the next time I come on live? So I teach. This is an actual authorized class, meaning this is a class taught by priests. Only priests get to teach this class. So, and I'm authorized by priests above me. That's who I'm authorized by. Not just by, ooh, I read the Bible, or ooh, I think I know something. No, I'm actually authorized by authorized men. And I teach this class every Wednesday, 7 to 9 o'clock. Usually start between 7:15 and 7:30. Every now and then I'll do a live on the weekends. And I'll probably do a live this weekend because it'll be a slower weekend because I'm preparing for the Passover. So I could be going live this Saturday or Sunday. But yeah, just follow me, and I guarantee you, if I'm live now, like if I'm live on a weekend, that's when I'll actually bring people up, and then we can actually have a conversation. But when we're doing an authorized class, we don't bring people up because this is actually a priest duty. We must teach this class. This is not like a just a regular live. This is an actual class. Known G, I'm gonna be honest. I'm not even sure what you're talking about. I don't even think you know what you're talking about no more, Known G. To be honest, I'm not sure what you're talking. Hispanic, not Middle Eastern. Okay, whatever. So I really wanted Charles. That's what I wanted. I wanted Charles to come and produce his cause, but that's all right. Maybe another time. So with that, we're the Isupk out of 1 West 125th Street out of Harlem, New York, under commanding General Yohana. We teach Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans the truth according to the Bible, history, archaeology, and anything else you may need for your understanding. Why? Because it's our duty, and we are the actual real authorized priest of God. Unlike your pastor, and unlike any other brother or sister you think that knows the word. If you really want to know if they know the word, bring them to us, and we'll let you know. With that, I say, Shalom, Israel. Peace, love.